Hey, so I wanted to document my engineering design process for the periscope. And so, as I was building the periscope, I had to think about, well, first I had to think about the materials, right? So, I thought about the materials I had at the moment. I had cardboard. I'm moving pretty soon, so I have plenty of that. And I have tape. Now, the thing is, for the periscope, I was reading some of the materials and it said that I needed a mirror, I needed scissors, things like that, right? Interestingly enough, I can't really find my scissors, so as I was going through this, I had to adapt and make sure, okay, so what do I need in order to make this functionally work, right? So I thought about the final design, right? I have the periscope kind of like this. And so we have the mirror, two mirrors, in fact, right? And as I look through one end, I'll see the reflected light bounce from the mirror over into my eyes, right? So I thought, okay, well, if I need to cut something with scissors, well, I have knives, right? So I'm going to use my knife to cut the cardboard. And since I don't have mirrors and I don't really want to go and buy them, well, I have aluminum foil, right? Aluminum foil is reflective, and so perhaps when I build this, it'll be reflective in the same way. And so, as I was, before I even started to build this thing, well, I planned out, hey, these are the kinds of things that I'll need in order to make sure that this periscope works, right? And so then I started with creating it, right? I went to the cardboard, right? And just followed the plans, right? So I, made the folds, right? Made sure the lengths were correct, and then I made the dotted lines in order to cut the periscope correctly, right? And so the position of these lines, I thought about it, and I was like, okay, so the position of these lines are probably there in order to guide us, right? The dotted lines, I didn't draw that dotted, but the dotted lines here should fold um, into a right angle, and they should fold into right angles that are kind of going opposite of each other. And so I can't really change the position of these lines. If I start to change the dimensions of these rectangles, that'll just change the dimensions of the rectangles in here, right? And so I tried to keep it uniform, just follow the directions, and I was able to create the periscope. Now, some improvements on the idea. The aluminum foil didn't work, right? If you've ever tried to look at aluminum foil, and I really should have tried to look at it, well, it doesn't really reflect light all too well, at least enough to see it. So, this is definitely not substitutable, right? You need a mirror surface, right? So I couldn't really improve on that. And if I thought about, okay, so um my cardboard was pretty thick, well, scissors would have been better, but maybe it was actually a blessing in disguise that I used my knife, because knives were able to cut through the cardboard very easily. And so, I'm thinking about all of these different solutions and just trying to figure out, okay, how do I actually um, make sure that this thing works in principle, right? A lot of these connections here had pretty tight tolerances. And so maybe I would improve the design by, instead of um, cutting out these little triangle pieces that were in the final design, maybe instead I would just put the mirror on and then tape it up, right? That way I don't have to worry about cutting the pieces to the correct size. I can just um, change the design so that it fits whatever fold is there. So, all right.